Okay, let's talk about how to facilitate the sprint review. Have you ever noticed that sometimes when people ask for something, they get something completely different from what they actually need? That's what you can see going on in this cartoon. And that's why we do the sprint review in Scrum, so customers can give us feedback in time to adjust before it's too late. But Quinn had only one problem. She'd never run a sprint review before. So in this sprint, we're going to see how she overcame her fear and learned to lead the sprint review with confidence. So by March, Quinn was going along using her project management job to practice her Scrum Master skills in small pieces. Perfect. She and her team were working to deliver a mobile app that made it easy for people to look up their paycheck info. In fact, 3 months ago in January, stakeholder Sally asked Quinn's team to include a way to see the breakdown of their benefits, retirement savings, and stock options in a single view. The team got really excited about it. They brainstormed and came up with some really cool ways to do it. And finally, after 3 months of hard work, Quinn showed it to Sally. But you can imagine what the problem was. Because the team had worked in isolation for 3 whole months without talking to Sally, they'd gone off in a totally different direction from what Sally actually needed. So in March, Quinn reached out to me and said, "I'm so disappointed. I thought Sally would love it." I said, "Don't worry, you still have a chance." "How?" she asked. "Simple," I said. "You just give Sally the chance to review the work every 2 weeks instead of at the end of 3 months." "But how would that help?" she asked. I said, "You'd be giving Sally a chance to give you adjust and adapt feedback before it's too late. In fact, that's the whole purpose of the sprint review." She thought about it. "I guess I could do that," she said, "and it would give me practice facilitating that Scrum event. 2 birds, 1 stone." So we put together a fun sprint review agenda to show Sally the true measure of progress by showing her actual pieces of working functionality. But the team resisted at first. They complained, "We have too many meetings as it is. We don't need another one. We just want to get our work done." But Quinn explained, "Don't worry, guys. We'll time box this to a half hour every 2 weeks." But there was skeptical silence in the air. "Okay, guys," she said, "think of it this way. This meeting will save you time because more frequent feedback from Sally will allow you to adjust and adapt as you go, kind of like how when you drive your car, you constantly move your hands to make little adjustments to stay in your lane and get where you're going." So the team agreed to try it. The plan was to run a 30-minute review every 2 weeks with Sally to see if they were on track and find out what adjustments they needed to make. But a week later, I got a slightly panicked phone call from Quinn. She said, "I know we talked agenda for the review, and at the time it seemed simple. Just show Sally a piece of working product. But now I'm freaking out because I don't even know what steps a good review should have." I told her, "Okay, breathe. You're having a normal reaction to leading this for the first time. Anything new can feel uncomfortable." She said, "I get that, but Sally's a senior director. I don't want to risk my reputation just because I'm trying to practice pieces of Scrum Mastering." "I totally get it," I said. "You want to get better at your job through Scrum, not risk it." She said, "Exactly." "Don't worry," I said. "That's exactly what you're going to do here. Here are the simple, clear agenda steps you can use when you lead the team through review with Sally next week. First, you review the business drivers, plus the goals that guided the team's work over the past 2 weeks. Second, you and the team solicit Sally's feedback on every story, research spike, or technical enabler that you completed over the past 2 weeks. Invite Sally to make comments and ask questions throughout. Third, you get transparent and talk about which work items you didn't finish and why. There's probably good reasons. Fourth, you identify any risks or blockers and how you and the team plan to deal with them. Then you talk with Sally and the team about feedback and ways to incorporate that into your backlog for the upcoming work. To close, thank everyone with an attitude of gratitude and be sure to acknowledge both the team and Sally for their dedication. Okay, I like that, said Quinn. It gives me a structure to follow and feel confident about. So she tried it out in her next meeting with Sally. It didn't go perfect. Nothing ever does. I told her, give yourself permission to be a beginner. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. She said, I get that. And honestly, the imperfect was actually fine because it was just Sally saying things she didn't quite like. And we'd rather get that feedback now while we still have time to change it versus at the end after it's too late. You got it, I said. And that's the beauty of leading the sprint review. It's survivable and even helpful. So over the next 3 months, Quinn got really comfortable leading the review until finally the picture looked like this at the end, not like that. What we did in this sprint review was to strengthen your ability to lead the sprint review by seeing how Quinn came to succeed at that using a solid agenda. So check out the materials tab in this sprint to download that very same agenda for yourself. In the next sprint, we'll solidify your skills around leading the sprint retrospective. Great job, everybody.